Hey guys, Patrice here again. Finally season 2 came out and brought a lot with it compared to the season 1. With season 2 we also get a new legend called Wattson. All of you already know that. Well, as soon as it came out, I've realized I need to do You Are Using It Wrong episode again. Wattson is a lot of fun. I've enjoyed playing her, but she's definitely a lot harder than the other common picks. With Wattson you have to plan ahead and multitask. Her abilities are hard to use mid-battle, and in most cases you will be preparing yourself before the fight starts. Since if you rush into the battle, then you just will end up being in disadvantage. As always, I will leave all the timestamps in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get on with the video. One little mention I would like is that my voice right now is a bit gone, so I might sound a little bit weird. But either way, I'll try my best to still make this video. First, let's cover her passive. Spark of Genius. Just like Lifeline, you have multiple things on your passive. First, the ultimate accelerator recharges your ult immediately instead of the percentage, so it's a good idea to carry one or two with you, since you can put up to 3 ults at a time. I would always recommend to have ultimate ready for each battle. The second passive is when you are next to your ultimate that is working, then your tactical recharges much quicker. Instead of like 20 seconds, it will take about 4 seconds for it to recharge. That's pretty much it for the passive. Moving on to the tactical ability. Your tactical ability is perimeter security. You can place nodes that work as a fence and deals 10 damage when an enemy goes through it. It also pings the enemy and slows them down as well. You can place up to 12 of those nodes. They work similar to caustic traps. It doesn't have a timer, but it can be destroyed with barely a touch. So you have to place them very carefully. Just like with caustic gas tanks, it's super easy to destroy, and the best thing you can do is hide them behind walls, for example. In this video I'm in the bunker, and I've realized that the best way I can put my traps is inside of each door as close to the walls as possible. That way there's no way an enemy can shoot them down from their angle, so they will be forced going through it or throwing a grenade. I see so many Wattson players dropping walls in a bad angle or trying to place it mid-battle and messing it up. You have to put it as close as possible to the wall and as far as possible from the door or window. Right now you might get away with poor placing, but in most cases people going to get used to destroying her nodes, and pros are used to it already. So if you misplaced it, it can be destroyed within 1 to 2 bullets, and the entire time you wasted placing it was for nothing. So make sure to place it right or not at all. This ability can be used aggressively together with her ultimate. On its own, it's way too long to use it and you only end up using 4. But if you have your ultimate, then you can drop that down, and with that you're gonna proc your passive, which will decrease the cooldown by a ton. That way you can almost immediately secure the point with 12 nodes. But again, you cannot really use it straight in the battle. It's more of right before the battle starts skill. Or you can disengage and place it behind your back. But in the battle, the animations are slow enough for the enemy just to shoot you down. Also remember that the wall deals 10 damage, so technically if you and your enemy both don't have guns, you can kinda place them around before fighting. Just the way like Caustic can drop his gas tanks in a fist fight.
Come on.
Oh. Nice.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
That was nicely
almost,
done, I
man.
have to say. That was nicely done.
And to compare Caustic even more, Wattson also works great in the bunker and supply shit, since you can drop your nodes everywhere and slow down the enemy or stun them and get a free kill. But unfortunately Caustic works a little bit better for those. There's also this fun tactic I've been running with Wattson and my friend that plays Wraith. I asked him to place the ult and run towards the enemy, after which pretending it was a mistake and running back through the teleport. Whilst he's doing that, I would place my ult and 12 traps all over the teleport, so as soon as at least one idiot comes through he gets absolutely destroyed. Believe me, this is a good way to get a free kill and make the fight 3v2. Well, if only Wraith doesn't die, but Wraith can usually use phase to escape dangerous situations, so she should be fine. Anyway, I've been using this in ranked and it almost always secured at least 1 kill. Another few things I would like to mention that players not aware of is that you can actually connect the nodes together. So for example, you want to make a box of nodes. Well, you don't need to place 4 nodes, you can place 3 and then merge the first one with the last one. If you misplaced the first node and would like to replace it, you don't have to cancel the ability and walk towards it to pick it back up. All you have to do is look at the node from wherever you are and click the right mouse click to cancel the placement. I used to physically go up to a node and pick it up every time I misplaced it, which used to kill a lot of time. In addition, you can connect enemy nodes to your nodes, so if an enemy placed a good node, you can actually use it to help you waste 1 less node. All you have to do is destroy 1 enemy node to break the wall and then place your node instead. It won't show you any like tips that you can press Q on the node, but it's still there and you can still do it. I would really recommend going into a quiet place and learning all the commands you can do with nodes, connecting them, cancelling, picking nodes up, prolonging them, merging, and so on, since I personally didn't use many of those commands. This skill is best to be used defensively and as a zone control. The best tactic I found is that you prepare right before the fight. So for example, you drop in school town and there's many teams fighting everywhere. Well, you can place your traps on a lot of entrances, that way you will know where the enemy is around and you can collapse on them. Also, if you make a safe spot, then that way you will be able to come back and heal up quickly, giving yourself enough safe time to heal up before getting pushed. Additionally, keep in mind when somebody does decide to push your wall, you can always melee them back out, but in most cases you're better off shooting them down unless you are out of ammo or need to reload. You can also use the walls for support to help your teammates. For example, I've said before you can cover wraith ass by placing them on the one end of the teleport. Or you can place it in the middle of Bangalore smoke so the enemy wouldn't push and you can res your teammate. Also, when Lifeline is resing someone, usually people will throw grenades behind her passive wall, but with your ultimate, that's not a problem. Speaking of an ultimate, Wattson ultimate is called Interception Pylon. This ability is a bit harder to destroy than the nodes, but can still be destroyed. You can also stack them up to 3 max. Placing your ultimate will make the cooldowns on your tactical a lot, and I mean a lot, smaller. Instead of like 20 something seconds, it turns into 4 seconds. It will also charge anyone's shield, so no, not only your team and you. If enemy gets in the range, then just like Lifeline Dock, it will charge their shields too. And it blocks everyone grenades and bombardments, so your grenades and your team too. But there is a way around it. If you get out of the zone, throw the grenades and then get back in. Little mention I want to say is that stacking the ultimates unfortunately does not increase the recharge rate. And also I've noticed that it does block Bangalore's explosions even after the bombs have landed. It could be just a bug and might get fixed in the future. Moving on, your ultimate is usually the thing you do first before placing nodes, since that will help you to place 12 nodes almost immediately. But if there's no threat around, then there isn't any point of rushing. I would recommend to carry at least 1 ultimate accelerator if possible, since that way you can have ult for 2 future fights if needed. Your ultimate can also be used just like Doc's healing drone. You can just use it to recharge shield if you don't have any better choice. In mid battle, what I usually try to do if I get damaged is to run back into my safe zone and first heal up my health, whilst the ult charges up my shield. Since I'm pretty sure they won't be able to push me out quickly or throw grenades in. Her ultimate works great with Bangalore smokes, since as soon as enemy sees smokes, they usually turn into balls that see red flag and start smashing all the grenades in. Well, with your ultimate you don't need to worry about it anymore, and you can also place your walls inside the smoke for more security, and then on you can res your friend or disengage safely. Just don't forget that this is an alternator meta, so pretty much everyone will be able to carry a legendary scope. So bang smokes turn kinda useless after mid game. Wattson ultimate is generally a good support ability to everything. You can use it yourself or you can assist your team when they need it as well. Make sure to also look out for your teammates' shields and drop the ult next to them if they are very low and in the middle of a fight. Or tell them to back off to whatever safe zone you build it. What I usually do is make a safe zone before the fight, like I've said already, and then I announce to my teammates where it is and where they can disengage if they are forced to. Now I would also like to add another general tactic to Wattson nodes. Wattson being out for a few days, so there's still a lot to be discovered. There's definitely a better way of using Wattson walls than just placing them through walls and entrances. So for example, instead of placing the wall just normally blocking the door, how about placing it in a different angle when it's not seen on the entrance, but if the enemy turns left or right straight after they enter, then boom, they get stunned. Or what if you place your walls normally but sit in between of the walls to make them disappear and stop making the sound, and as soon as one enemy enters, you move out of the way and block the exit. So you can 3v1 the enemy that entered whilst his team is debating if they should come in or not. That's only a few ideas I've gotten so far. I'm sure a lot of people will be coming out with a lot more tactics and trolls. Alright, that's pretty much all I've got to mention about the abilities.
Round 2, beginning ring countdown.
I'm inside the ring. Feels good.
Attention, supply ship inbound.
Moving on to counter picks and team composition. Let's go through them one by one. First, Bangalore. Wattson works great with Bang since of her smokes. You can provide a lot of help in the smoke, and also smoke can give your walls a lot better surprise effect since the enemy won't know what to expect. You counter Bangalore quite a lot, her ultimate is almost useless, and if she throws her smokes at you, they will get clapped by the ult as well. so she can't cut your sight either, and Bangalore doesn't counter Wattson in any way, well, not to mention that her passive is pretty much strong against anyone. Bloodhound. You don't really benefit from each other in any way, but Bloodhound does have some counters on Wattson. First, he will see your traps the same way he sees caustic traps with his tactical, and also he'll be able to track you down on your nodes and stuff because he will see through his passive. On the other hand, you don't really counter Bloodhound in any way. Now Caustic. Caustic and Wattson is probably one of the best combos you can imagine, since both of them are trap legends that can just own any camping spot, such as bunker and so on. You do counter Caustic a little bit since his ultimate counts as a grenade and will get destroyed if he throws it at you, but rather than that, you both are similar. Moving on to Gibraltar. Well, Gibraltar can definitely assist with his dome shield, but GB's dome shield is similar to Wattson's ultimate, but it can also provide protection from projectiles. On the other hand, your ult is timeless, so it stays forever until destroyed. Wattson counters GB by a lot, making his strongest in the game ult useless, and that's pretty much his main skill. Lifeline, again, works amazingly together. You both can drop healing drones and ultimate to recover your shields and health, so that way you don't need to waste heals at all. She can also res people whilst getting protected by your fences and ultimate, to not get pushed fast or grenaded. You don't counter each other in any way that I could think of. Now Mirage, probably one of the biggest threats to Wattson since he will know your location if he suicides his decoy into your fence. So even if you are on the other side of the map, he will know and will be able to follow up. On the other side, you counter Mirage as well. He will get damaged if he goes through your walls when he's invisible, just like with caustic gas. So he cannot really trick you here, which also makes you a big counter to him in a tight spaces, because your back is always covered. You don't really benefit much from each other on the squad. Octane. He can easily jump over your fences with his ultimate, and if your fences are in a closed zone, then he can also use his tactical to lower the time of the stun and speed decrease. So he can still push you pretty fast, but if he uses his tactical and gets hit by your node, that's minus 20 damage, so he'll have a lot less health. You don't really counter him in any way, and there's not much benefit you can receive from each other. I mean, you can maybe bait people with his ultimate and put traps on the place they will fly to, but that works a lot smoother with Wraith. And his ultimate can give you some high advantage, but that's pretty much to every other legend in the game as well. Pathfinder. You can cover Pathfinder ass a lot. If he gets to a high point with his ultimate, then you can cover the entrance of the ultimate with your nodes, so people cannot push you through Pathfinder's ultimate. Also, you can secure the high spot for him by placing walls around the point people will be climbing, providing some safety for him whilst he's doing some poking damage and trying to just scope out the area. You don't really counter Pathfinder in any way. He also like Octane and can go over your walls or use his grapple to speed up the process and get through the wall. And last but not least, Wraith, one of the funnest combos I've had. You can do so much baiting with her ultimate and your nodes, and you provide the best safe zone for Wraith so she can always disengage with her ultimate or tactic back to safety. On the other side, Wraith provides an attack point for Wattson too, so you can use her ultimate to get into fight and then come back to your safety just as fast. Wattson don't really counter Wraith much other than blocking off the ultimate, but Wraith counters Wattson quite a bit, since her passive gets triggered with the nodes just like caustic traps, and also Wraith can travel through the nodes with phase without being harmed or seen. Alright, here we go with those out of the way, let's get to the last bit. Pros and cons. Starting with pros, Wattson has traps, just like caustic, which means she can keep her back covered. The ultimate is very good supportive skill and saves your ass hundreds of times. The hitbox is average, it's not broken and it's not big either, which I guess isn't really a pro much. You can use enemy Wattson walls to your advantage. Pretty good with counters and doesn't get countered too hard. Looks and sounds cute. I think at least. Very good supportive legend and basically has a dog drone but for armor. New legend, so not everyone knows how to counter her just yet. Perfect for camping in ranked. And now let's move on to cons. Very slow paced legend. Wattson has no escapes at all. Ult works against you as well as for you. Tactical animation is too long and won't really be quick enough in the middle of the fight. It's very easy to destroy her nodes and ultimate. Also, they're very predictable since you can't be too creative with nodes, they can only be placed in a straight line standing up. The nodes are very weak and stun only for like second and a half, so most of the times it won't stop enemy from entering. Nodes deal only 10 damage, so it's barely anything. The legend is pretty weak in general. I don't really see why you pick her over Caustic. Yes, her hitbox is probably smaller, but rather than that, Caustic traps are way more reliable and more dangerous than Wattson walls. Enemy can't just push your gas with no fear, but with Wattson I had a lot of times where enemy just would walk through the wall without really even paying attention or trying to destroy it, since it's only a very short stun and they don't really care about it. Alright guys, here it is, all I could gather through the entire time of playing Wattson every single day. Sorry for keeping you waiting for too long, but I wanted to make sure to learn as much as possible before making an in-depth guide. Trust me, I've tried a lot of stuff. I've tried placing Wattson traps on top of caustic traps, on top of doors, healing drones, I even tried putting it on Gibraltar's shield, but none of them worked. I've also tried to experiment with every legend just in case there would be some shocking discovery, but couldn't find anything surprising. Either way, I tried a lot of stuff and hope this guide provides you with some useful information. If I missed something, which I definitely had, or if you found out something really cool, please write it down in the comment below for me and the future viewers. If it surprises me a lot, I'll be happy to even pin it. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and like. Most of the footage was recorded on my Twitch stream, guys. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 PM London time, and sometimes I do random streams, but in general I'm very consistent with my streams. I'm going on holidays for a week after this video is getting uploaded, but when I'm back, I'll be back on streaming every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So yeah, make sure to follow me, and the link for my Twitch stream will be in the descriptions below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Anyone passes through here, we'll know. I designed it to hurt anyone outside of it. Supplies. Reload.